Oh yeah, it fell. And I try to make it in before it hits the black hole. Which I do. Till that happens. Alright, welcome back. Today we're playing Outer Wilds with the Archipelago Randomizer again. And this time we're going to do things a bit differently. But before I get into that, a quick spoiler warning. If you haven't played Outer Wilds or its DLC Echoes of the Eye, and you plan on doing so, which of course I hope you do, please turn off this video, don't watch any video on it, don't read anything about it, and instead go play it for yourself from beginning to end. I promise you won't regret it. This is definitely a game that deserves that fresh take. And afterwards, come back here and we'll get on with this random expedition. Now, I should state up front that this is actually Editor Jake talking. I did an entire commentary on this as I was playing it, but I've got a kind of new audio setup and I let something slip up and I do not have that footage. I have most of it. I don't have all of it for sure. So I'm re-recording this as a kind of post-game narration voiceover. You can look down at the bottom of the screen. You'll see the information there on Know My Text. We'll get into that in a moment, but I'm sure you notice we are not waking up on Timber Hearth. That is because we have random spawn in place. This, of course, means that for the rest of this playthrough, we will spawn on Ember Twin. We do not spawn at a new location each loop. It just means that for the first time, we spawn at a random location, and then everyone after that same location. I, of course, did not know where we were going to spawn until I just opened my eyes, so there's that. We do have our ship, and we do have the ability to refuel, to gain our health back, oxygen, things like that. But if you go up to the front, you'll see that we do not have the launch codes to fly our ship. Launch codes are now going to be part of a check. It's going to be something we have to obtain somewhere in the solar system. There's no guarantee that it's on this planet, and we'll have to make do. So we'll see how this goes. Now, once again, I've already played the whole thing all the way through. Unfortunately, there was a technical issue with my audio. I was going to reshoot the whole thing, redo the whole thing, but I just felt like I really liked the gameplay. I felt it came out great, or great enough at least. So I decided to salvage it in whatever way I could and just do this, like I said, post-game commentary. Yeah, if you can't tell, we've got our first wonderful check, which is an ice physics trap, which we're not the biggest fans of, but we'll make do. Now, we'll get into traps here in a second. As you can see at the bottom of the screen, we have 1 out of a total 87 checks throughout this entire solar system. They're scattered everywhere in all the main locations. And on the left side, you can see there we've got our ice physics trap as our first, well, this one was a trap itself, but as our first check. You'll get one of 3 different types of things when you go to a check, and we'll get into that as well in a second. But before we do, I'm trying to time this out the best I can with my original gameplay. You'll see my mods here. Of course, we have the Archipelago Randomizer. We have the custom ship log modes that comes with it, along with Enable Meditation that comes with it. We'll try not to use meditation at all throughout this entire playthrough if we can help it. That's one of our rules. We'll go over the other ones in a bit. We also have Timber Hearth Forest, which of course is lush greenery added to our wonderful homeworld. And down there at the bottom, you probably saw Visible Stranger. We caught that at the very beginning, and you'll definitely see more of it from there. Of course, if you've played Echoes of the Eye, you definitely know about the cloaked, gigantic ring world hidden in the solar system. And that's great for Echoes, but when you're playing a game like this randomizer, it can, especially with the way the planets are sometimes orbiting vertically instead of just on the same horizontal plane, it can be pretty scary when you run into something like that. So I wanted to make sure it's visible for me and I don't get creeped out at any point. All right, well, we're on our way now. If you haven't played a randomizer before, What this does is it takes a game like Outer Wilds, a game that's entirely based on knowledge and learning how things work. Once you know how those things work, you've got all the solutions to every puzzle, and you've beaten the game. Problem is, the replay value of something like that is lacking. So this randomizer helps to solve that by taking items you normally start with, like the signal scope or the translator or quantum imaging that you just don't know you have, and actually takes them away from you. So you have to find them and obtain them from there. Now we've got our second check here. So checks are going to be locations and activities that we do that gain us these random items, abilities, or traps. You see I've got the Know My Warp codes down there, where I first had a marshmallow right above it. We can't really do anything with the marshmallow other than maybe heal a little, but we can use Know My Warp codes to our advantage. As you can see there, I don't even have the translator, because that's something I have to find via one of the checks. Now, I know every location of the checks just because I've done this enough times, but I do not know what a check will give me, because that is what's randomized. I have to figure that out when I actually go to it and unlock it from there. Now, if you've seen me play these before, you know I like to incorporate a little more than what's usually part of the randomizer. But with this one, I've kind of held back. Usually I start with 50% oxygen, 50% fuel, 50% boost, but up at the top left, you can see that I do have 100% of all of those. I'm still gonna get up to 150, but it's just gonna be that one jump whenever I get that, as far as an ability from a check. So I did this because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if I'll have to leap from one planet to another, etc., etc. So I'm trying to give myself what the default character would have, just to see how that works out. As a heads up, I have played this already about halfway through, once, 1.5 times? I don't know how you want to say it. And I've never played it all the way through as far as doing this random spawn for one of the randomizations. What I'm doing right there, by the way, is seeing if I can spot ghost matter, which I can't. I do have the camera, I do not have the scout yet. As you can see in there, it's not actually visible. And with that, I also don't have ghost matter wavelength, so I can't detect ghost matter yet. That's gonna come into play enough times throughout this. I also, like I said, don't have quantum imaging and plenty of other abilities. So as we gain more and more checks, we'll kind of discuss those things. I just got a signal, a Grove Shard signal, and I've said it before, but those don't really do much for us. They might do something in general. I'm not 100% sure as far as how they may help somebody playing one of these randomizations or randomizers, but for us, it doesn't do anything. We're really hoping for a frequency. So we just got the Grove Signal Shard. What I want is the Quantum Fluctuations frequency. That way I can actually scan things, because I want to be able to scan things, because pretty much every scan you have in the game with your signal scope is a check. Every single one of the Outer Wilds ventures, every quantum item, every distress beacon, that kind of a thing. Even the hide and seek game. As you can see here, I foolishly ran out of fuel, and I am trying to make my way back up there. I was struggling right here. With ice physics, it certainly doesn't help. It is a miserable experience with that trap, let me tell you. I was fortunate enough, I hate to say it like that, but to run out of oxygen here. So that allowed me to at least get out of that loop and start anew. I'm trying to, like I said, I'm trying to keep up the best I can with this. I'm sorry if I get off track or anything. Once again, this is like a post-game commentary. This is a commentary after the fact. But I mentioned earlier about different randomizations I add to the mix. This time, once again, I'm not doing that. I don't have the warp pads randomized. They are definitely going to be going to their normal places, because I've got to utilize them a lot, at least here at the beginning. In addition to that, the planets are all on their flat orbital plane. They're all normal. Nothing's changed from the vanilla game as far as they go. And I don't think there's anything else randomized. I think this is pretty straightforward. I just wanted to see, with the base randomizer itself, how I did with a random spawn location with no launch codes. So that's what this is about right now, is trying to figure out how to work best with that. Right now I'm trying to, I think I forgot where the warp pad was. I do have a system for detecting it, and I'm about to find that. You just saw the stranger up in the sky there. There it is. And that's pretty wild to see each time. So what I'm doing here is that pathway that I'm parallel to and passing right now, I use that to sort of guide me to the warp pad. I figured a lot of this stuff out in my very first playthrough the other day when I started on Timber Hearth but just didn't have the launch codes. So I immediately, pretty quickly, got to know my warp codes, and I realized I could just start warping straight to Ash Twin and everywhere else from there. The great thing about this is it warps you straight to the top of the sand, so you're not going to get smothered or anything like that. But of course, now we have nowhere to warp to or from, because the sand is too full. So this was another challenge I had whenever I initially played, and I had to think on my toes a little bit and then realized I was better off just jumping back to Ember Twin. So that's kind of what's going on here. I'm trying to find Ember Twin because I'm having a little trouble because it's taking its sweet time. And once again, we are on the twins that are closest to the sun. You can see the other planets all lining up there, so obviously the stranger is in a different spot. But in addition to these things, usually I have other challenges separate from the randomizations that I try to implement. And I am doing, let's see, how many of those am I doing this time? I'm not going to look at the map, except for, I don't even know if I ever look at it in this gameplay, because I mean, I don't think I need to. Everything's in the normal spot. I don't get any hints from the Outer Wilds travelers, like Gabbro, Chert, any of them. As you can see, I just jumped back onto Ember Twin. So it's not that tough to do it here on the Hourglass Twins, nor is it from Timber Hearth to the Attlerock. So that's a good thing. Everywhere else, I don't know how well I do there, but now I'm going to sleep just to pass the time a little more so I can have more available warp paths. So yeah, we're not going to have the map that we're going to look at it all. We're not going to talk, or we're not going to get any hints from any of the travelers. We're also not going to look at our ship log. I think I may look at it once here. I don't think I did already, no. But I think I do it coming up here in a short bit. So we're just going to look at it that one time, and after that we're not going to get hints on where anything is, like what's still available, how we might be able to get there, anything like that. We've got to figure it out for ourselves. And that's the sort of joy of this. It's a really cool way to figure out how to do new things in the game. That's what I learned, at least. I never thought of doing some of these things, and now I realize it's much easier than I had imagined it being. Okay, here I go to the ship log. And this is the only time I'll be referring to it. You can see our mission here, the Song of the Nomai, as it usually is, which is do all 87 of the checks and then get the warp core to the vessel, then warp to the Eye of the Universe. Once we're at the Eye of the Universe, once the vessel arrives there, then we will have completed the randomizer. It says Song of the Nomai because it's referring specifically to Solana, because we have to go up and talk to her at the 6th location. Now you can see the green exclamation points and green pie slices, pizza slices, whatever you want to call them. That really just shows that, hey, these are still attainable. You can still get these checks without needing anything else. And the red is something that's blocking us, so we're not able to get to those checks yet. Or at least the logic thinks that we're not able to. This randomizer logic works in a pretty rigid way, so it thinks, for instance, we can't go to Feldspar in Dark Bramble because with its understanding, we have to pass all the anglerfish. And if we don't have silent running, which will allow us to get past them, which I forget I have in a little bit, by the way, or I forget I don't have, then it thinks we can't get back to Feldspar. But there is a back entrance to Dark Bramble that it doesn't necessarily calculate. So we can have some fun with that and see what else we can bypass, things like that. All right, we're once again about to warp to Ash Twin. Now that we've gotten some sleep, the sand is lowered, and we can see where we are from here. I may have some silence in this just because I'm not trying to figure things out. I've already figured things out. I've gone through that process, but we'll see how it goes. Now, right now we're at the twins on Ash Twin there, the towers for those. And I realize now that I can actually go into Ash Twin immediately. Lucky for me, that gets me the launch codes. I can now fly my ship if I want to. There's a part of me that's not necessarily the happiest about this. I really wanted to see how much I could hop around from planet to planet with just my spacesuit. So that's just what I did. Well, first, Ember Twin pulled me up and launched me. But after that, I decide, hey, let's just go to the other warp pads for Timber Hearth, for Brittle Hollow, and let's, I see my shadow there, and let's go to these places this way. And once we get most of what we want / need from doing this process, then we can fly our ship around. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have some fun hopping around to different astral bodies here. And now I'm in the Timber Hearth Tower, so I'll start off on my home world. There is, well, one thing you want to keep in mind with this is you start realizing the importance of knowing the location of a lot of different things by heart. So I never thought too much about it other than the fact that they were checks, but the fuel tanks, they are extremely important. I rely heavily on them in this. Same with trees. Like, where's the closest place that'll have trees so I can get my oxygen back? So in this case, with Timber Hearth, I thought for a while that there was no fuel tank on it because my ship wasn't on it anymore. But I totally forgot about the one down here in the village. And so I used that to my advantage, took care of that here, and now we're going to take care of some checks around the village. This is our usual path right here, talking to the kids, and we'll play a game of hide and seek with, of course, no signal scope because we don't have one yet. But we'll at least get that check, and then eventually we'll have a signal scope and we will play a proper game with them. We have a fuel capacity upgrade. That's really good. Now our fuel can go up to 150, so it's maxed out. And then eventually our boost and our oxygen will be able to do the same. Once again, this is the usual path I take to start off a normal gameplay with. And we're going to go to the Ghost Matter plaque here, see what it's got for us. It's another signal. Once again, signals aren't the greatest thing for us. They're kind of like filler, if you want to call them that. I think the game does call them that, filler checks or filler items. So we're really looking for those frequencies. Now we're dropping down to the 0G cave because that's where another check is. We have to repair this piece of mining equipment, I mean space junk, and grab something from it once we're done there in the form of a check. But I was trying to think of any other restrictions I'd placed on this. Obviously, in none of the playthroughs am I ever going to use autopilot. I don't like using it, so I try to like fly the ship manually. You know, I say that, and then I always overshoot almost every planet. So, yeah, maybe it's not the best idea. Maybe I do need autopilot. But I also won't be matching velocity at all, even though sometimes it will say it. I'm trying to think of whatever else there is. Oh, I try to land on the Sun Station and the Black Hole Forge. Now, we have the ability on Ash Twin to warp to these two places. And I do warp to the Black Hole Forge just to get to Brittle Hollow here in a moment. But I'm not going to do it to get the check inside the Black Hole Forge. For that, I still do want to fly up there. And that all, of course, depends on if I have a spaceship or not. That being said, we did just get the launch codes, so we know we have access to our spaceship, which is, once again, on Ember Twin. That is where we will start out each loop. So, We just have to keep that in mind. And now from here, I'm of course going over to Hornfels in the observatory. Hornfels now does not have the launch codes for us. It's going to work a little differently now. They have... What do they have? We have to do a little more talking with them before we find out. A little more than we usually do. Oh, and I accidentally keep pressing where are the others? Because I think I'm just getting through normal conversation instead of ending it. And I don't know, I didn't see what that actually got us. Rybex signal, and then jetpack fuel refill. That's very helpful when we're doing something like this, because it's tougher to find, just say that. So now I think I'm trying to find where I want to go and how I want to get there. I don't have a ship. Usually at this point in a normal gameplay, I will go to the launch tower, hop in my ship, and then visit our first check outside of the village, which is talking to Tektite. Of course, I don't have that ability, so I've devised a little bit of a method here where I'll hop in the geyser. I know there are a ton of different ways to utilize the geysers to your advantage, but I realized if you just let it shoot you out completely and then pretty quickly use your booster, you can get right outside the village. And once you start picking up speed, you're good. You can just keep rotating around the orbiting the planet, really. So it's really cool once you know things like that, because it opens up so many doors for you from there. Now, I don't have the text translator yet, so I can't go down into mining site 2B, nor can I go to the iSignal locator on the Attlerock and translate that. I can go to the iSignal locator on the South Pole, but I'm not able to translate anything there because I don't have my translator. And as you can see, I've taken advantage of already being in the air, and I spotted the Attlerock, and I said, let's just continue on. So that's what I did. So I'm floating over to the Attlerock. We're going to take care of our checks here and then hop back down to Timber Hearth to finish more of them off from there. We can see our buddy Esker whistling away. We've got our fuel tank. We've got a pretty reddish orange sun now, so something to keep an eye on. We've got our jumbo mallows. As per tradition, we've got to roast one up. We got a jetpack fuel refill from that jetpack fuel refill. Once again, pretty much every fuel tank, except for that one in the village, is going to get us a check. Now you'll notice the nice moldy green marshmallows. They're really the best because they make people smarter, as I've said before. Now, at this point, we've got what we need in Esker's camp. So now we'll go to the North Pole, and we'll read their spy message from snooping on all of us. And that'll get us the scout. In the base randomizer, I don't really need the scout. I can get by without it. In the Long Sanity version, there are 2 checks that do require the scout. I've got to shoot it in the Bramble Seeds on Timber Hearth and at the Know My Grave. So those are 2 checks I need it for. But here I don't really. And then now I just read Rybek's recording. And with that, I got the Quantum Moon signal, which isn't anything necessarily for us, like I've said. You can see on the wall there, we've got our text that's already expanded and color-coded as well, the specific one that we're going to be looking for to try to translate. That was what you saw at the very beginning, right before we woke up at the bottom of the screen. Now we're going to find, I guess I call it Chert's Crater. I call it that because Chert's note's on there. So here we are at Chert's Crater, and we'll get these 2 checks. We've got our ice that we're bunking into. And then we've got our fuel tank and our recorder from Chert. We've got the electrical installation. That's really great. That'll allow us to hitch a ride on the jellyfish in the core of Giant's Deep, or under the current of Giant's Deep. Because while we normally have that in the base game, that is another thing that this Randomizer takes away from us. And then now we're going to try to make our way back over to Timber Hearth. We've gotten everything we can get at the moment on the moon, so at this point, it's really about warping back. And actually, no, I'm sorry, I forgot we didn't get a few more things on Timber Hearth. We haven't even talked to Tektite, and you're gonna love this because I was cracking up when I saw it. I have never actually seen Tektite with, well, you'll see. Look at them. It looks like they're holding their nose or something. I can't really tell if it looks like the pickaxe is bigger too, but I could be totally wrong about that. It's got a thick handle on it now, I don't know. Well, Tektite got us an oxygen refill, so nothing too crazy for us there. Now we do have a couple more checks here on Timber Hearth. The usual 2, I think it is. We have our deep space radio tower, so we're going to get that here now. And then after that, we've got Chert's sign, which I think we go straight to right after this. So, I mean, yeah, this is, you're looking at, we're reading the note by the campfire, we're talking to Tektite, we're, getting close to certain things. I don't know if we've actually gotten close to something yet. Just kind of, like I said, what I consider to be a proximity check. That's just kind of what I call them. Yeah, I don't think we've done that. Yeah, you know what? I think I did forget that we had Gabbro's sign next to the Quantum Grove. So I end up hopping aboard the Warp Express here back to Ash Twin. All right, and so now we're at the Timber Hearth Tower on Ash Twin. From here, we try to still see, because I'm really hell-bent on getting as much as I can done within this short time period before I know that I have immediate access to the ship, right? So now we try to warp to Brittle Hollow, and as you can see, we go straight to the Black Hole Forge on the roof, or ceiling really. So from here, we'll try to get at least 2 checks. I don't even remember if we get any, I don't remember if we get any more than that, but we should get 2 here. So you can pop up outside here and you're immediately on the Northern Glacier. You could try to go down into the Hanging City, but that's a little more difficult. It takes a little bit more to get down there. We've got a burnt marshmallow, jetpack fuel refill. Those 2 checks are from Feldspar's note and the fuel tank they left for us. Oh, yeah, that's right. I am able to hop over to this campfire and get 1 final check, just because I saw it there on the horizon and I thought I'd knock a final one out here. Do I get any more? No, I think I try to. Yeah, you can see me jumping down here. Actually, I think I successfully do. Yeah, and it's another one of those barely making it, just like our last playthrough, when we just barely made the Tower of Quantum Knowledge. It's coming for us. We still make it though. That was a great first loop. I was really happy with the way that went, and now we have full access to our ship. We are still, once again, on Ember Twin. That's where we'll spawn each time, but that's not really much different from normal. And in each future playthrough, I might try to make it a little crazier. I don't know, we'll see. I don't want to make any promises yet. This is already kind of crazy as it is. We've already been hopping around from twin to twin, from Timber Hearth to Attlerock, and warping everywhere we can imagine. So we're back on Ember Twin, right next to our buddy Chert, playing the bongo. Up here, we'll now pilot our favorite ship. See how happy I am? From here, we'll head somewhere we weren't able to necessarily leap over to or warp over to. And there's a stranger for you, by the way. Pretty wild to see that. I say it every time, but it really is. Actually, yeah, we're going to finish up Brittle Hollow. That's right. So we've gotten 3 checks now on Brittle Hollow, but we want to get everything we're able to before we have access to something like the translator or the signal scope. So whatever we can knock out before then is important. Now you're going to see me come in here with my sky breaking, as I usually do, until somebody tells me a better name. And I use the planet's atmosphere to kind of stop myself. And at most, I'll usually get around 200 meters per second speed still past the planet. So it really breaks me a lot. And I usually only get about 150 meters per second when I'm flying away from it at that point. So I can quickly go back to it. But now you see me, I'm looking for a certain mural. We are going to go down to the Nomai Old Settlement. And sometimes this can be a little bit of a leap of faith. Not this exact part right here, but if this giant chunk's gone right there that I'm pointing at, if that's gone, then I don't have a walkway leading to that hole right there. So sometimes it's quite a leap of faith to get to it. This time, it's a little easier though. And we got an oxygen refill. Nothing too crazy. Now remember, we have 100% boost and now 150% fuel. So we've got a little bit of an advantage from what we normally are working with. And that's I'm not going to complain. This is the first time I'm doing this one as far as like a full challenge goes. So I want to see if I can even do it at all. I forget at this point we have our ship back, but we do. So that'll help us out a little bit. Now, we, once again, don't have the translator. So I'm looking up there at Hollow's lantern and thinking of the Southern Observatory. We'll get to Southern Observatory soon. That's quite a trip, that whole experience. But we've already checked Feldspar's fuel tank and note here at the Northern Glacier. There's no reason for me to enter the Hanging City from the back entrance anymore, simply because now I usually just fly my ship up there and try to tackle the Black Hole Forge with the ship. But before I do that, I am going to go here to the Southern Observatory and check out Rybek's recorder. On the note of Rybek, I know that Rybek's name, or the pronunciation of their name, has been one or the other for some people. I know I've been calling them Rybek, namely because I remember a certain movie called Under Siege with a Ryback in it when I was little. But I also understand, looking it up, I know that the that the Hearthians are named after types of rocks, from what I've understood, and the Nomai are named after types of plants. Well, I looked up that kind of rock. It's called Rebekite or Rebekite. I don't really know the full pronunciation as far as inflections go, but it is a long E. It is E rather than I. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it, so I guess starting now, I will say Rebek instead of Rybek. I haven't heard, was it Kelsey Beecham, Alex Beecham, any of those guys there at Mobius say one way or another. I could look a little more into it and find out. But I'll start calling them Rebek and try to get in the habit of doing that from there. All right, we're back in our ship. Onward and upward, as per usual. Now, we are going straight to... I don't know why we did that. I think I just knew I wanted to go to Bramble. Yeah, that's what it was. Sorry, I'm not in my same headspace as I was when I initially did this. But, yeah, we're going to go head over to Dark Bramble, meet up with Feldspar, our favorite harmonica player, and see what we can get from those checks. We've got 3 checks in Dark Bramble that we can get immediately without actually well, no, I was gonna say 4, but we really only have 3, and we are so close to getting this right, but we just barely overshoot at Dark Bramble. And the 3 checks are at the South Pole. I know I've talked about it every time, but if you don't know about this kind of cool, I don't know, it's not really a secret necessarily, it's just a shortcut. On the South Pole of Dark Bramble, there's a giant heart-shaped piece in the middle that you can kind of see me jumping up from. And on the right side of that, there is an opening. I mean, there's openings across the whole thing, but if you look down, you can see a bramble branch. And this is the exact bramble branch you walk on after exiting where Feldspar is. When you look at their sparking ship and then come out here from there, this is that area. And so I wanted to see if I could find out where it was and did a little trial and error. Thankfully, there's no or very little gravity on Dark Bramble, so it wasn't too much for me to do. And then now I try to take that, if I can, each time first. As you can see, we got some jetpack fuel and a Mallow. Can't go wrong with a Mallow. But that really is fuel and health. So that's not a bad thing. And when you get an oxygen refill, it's kind of the same way. You never know when you might need that. I've definitely needed them before, for sure. During our last playthrough, we did something called Light Bramble. It was a mod I had installed to see what's beyond the fog here in Dark Bramble. And like I said in that video, it kind of does the opposite of what it sounds like. Dark Bramble's supposed to be dark, but it's light. You know how that goes. And so this is Light Bramble, but it makes everything dark because it gets rid of that fog. And you can really see everything, including the anglerfish and how they're positioned in each one of the pocket dimensions. It's a pretty cool setup. So that was in our last video. We've got the shrine door codes from the fuel tank. We were not able to do anything else there. So we've gotten 3 checks. We don't have the signal scope yet, so we can't get a check from Feldspar as far as scanning their harmonica. We could... It seems like we could get to the vessel because there's nothing required for the vessel as far as translation, signal scope, stuff like that. But... and I think I learned this the hard way here. You'll see in a second. We need silent running mode. If we don't have silent running mode, I think the description this gives in the game is it's like something along the lines of having a really, really loud muffler on a car even when you're idling. So you don't even have to be touching your thrusters, and an anglerfish will hear you from across the room pretty much. And we find that out. We're reminded of that here. In the middle one right there, watch it move. Aim down there, and then it goes, whoop. It gets a little antsy because it can hear me from all the way across. Normally in this hub pocket dimension here, you're actually able to hug the wall and never have to deal with the anglerfish. I immediately spotted that he was moving, or she, and so I was running from it. Look at it. Oh, it looks so menacing. So I decided to book it. Of course, I'm not very good at this, so I could only outrun it for so long before I lost all my speed. Oh, did you hear that? I don't know. I think it damaged our starboard hull, because I think I saw it red at the end there, but it may have already been red. I don't fully know. That was pretty wild. Cool sound. So that's the end of that loop. Kind of went off on a weird note with getting eaten by the anglerfish, but it's probably a lot easier for us to just start on Ember Twin now. So now we're back on Ember Twin. We've got our buddy Chert here. What else do we have now that we didn't have before? I don't think anything. We don't have the signal scope. We don't have the translator. Those are the two arguably most important things we can obtain. We can, if we If we receive quantum imaging, we can use that to our advantage. Same with quantum entanglement for certain reasons. But this is a place where we're kind of stuck now because we don't really have anything else. I sat down here trying to figure out what else we have to discover, what else we have to get check-wise. I've already gotten these. Trying to recall which one I'm missing. I love setting my ship down here and then watching them move it across. So we're pretty much good on the twins for now. There's nothing else we can really get. Nothing that'll help us. So where to from here? And once again, by the way, we are able to land on the sun station. So we will be doing that. We will be landing on the Black Hole Forge. So we'll head... oh yeah, the quantum moon looked kind of extra bright for some reason. I don't know. To me it did, at least. So as you saw there, we don't have quantum imaging. We had a photo of it. It didn't go away, but... or the photo didn't. But we still ran right through the quantum moon. And then now what we're going to do is try to see what else we've got on these two bodies. Once again, I've gotten what I need on the Attlerock. I already scanned Esker's fuel tank. I've already gotten Shirt's crater, both things in there, both items in there. And Rebeck's, I'm trying to get in the habit of saying that now. Rebeck's recording under the eye signal locator. I totally forgot. What's so fun? I think I still have that audio recording. If I do, I'll play it back. But I was trying to test the collision on the trees. And I actually said right before I hit it. This is kind of fun. I don't think the tops of the trees have collision. All right, here we are. We found Gabbro's, that's what I said, Shirt's note. Jetpack fuel refill, which didn't help us at all. Somehow our ship's damaged. I swear I've flown through the tops of these trees before and never had a problem. Clearly I'm misremembering. Ship's clean. So it's where to now, after running into things. I know that the randomizer logic only lets me do so much, or it thinks I can only do so much. So it's not going to try to get me to go to the vessel because it knows I don't have silent running mode. It wouldn't do that unless I did have it. It's got those those pieces of logic in its formula. So I've already gotten the Tektite, Bramble Seed. I just got the Chert note there. Already got the Deep Space campsite note. Everything I can think of in the village. What was I forgetting? I'm now forgetting what I was forgetting. I got Rebeck's note at the Southern Observatory and their fuel tank. Got the mural there. Got the... Oh, I remember. This is when I realized it too. There's a whole other planet I haven't even been to. I totally forgot. I didn't explore Giants Deep, and it just completely passed it over entirely, thinking that apparently it's not a planet. Upon this realization, I headed straight for it. As always, if I can, I try to barrel into this planet as fast as possible. I was considering doing the orbital probe cannon first, but... Actually, did I do the orbital probe cannon first? I think I still did. Which is a shame. It would have been fun to see that. I have a little bit of an interesting few interactions with the orbital probe cannon in this run. Talk about overshooting, man. So we have one check we can get on the orbital probe cannon that we can immediately tackle, because we don't have the translator to get the control module text translated, but we can enter it, and that entering is like one of those proximity checks. So just entering it will get me that. I love that you can see your tiny little shadow on different things. So now we're going to board that. And then, once again, I still have enough to get on this planet. So something's going to open up for me here soon. I've still got Gabbro's fuel tank. I've still got Gabbro's statue, which is a proximity one. I'm trying to think what else. But I knocked this out pretty quick. If I'm not mistaken, it was another supernova trap. Sorry to give spoilers there. Oh, no, it was Velocity Matcher. I'm terrible at spoilers, apparently. I know we had a supernova trap during our last playthrough, or the one before it, when this was directly next to the sun. That was interesting. All right, in we go. Or do we? I was having a little trouble here. All right, back out. And whoops. Yeah. Let's just go back down. There was Gabbro's ship. That was wild seeing the seeing Statue Island drop from the heavens like so. That's actually where we start out if we get Giant's Deep as the random spawn point. Right after that archway there on the other side where those trees are, because of course they're going to want to spawn you where trees are. Obviously you got to have your oxygen to start out with. So that's where you start if it's on Giant's Deep. I was kind of messing around with things the other day and I saw that. So even with 50% fuel, or boost I should say, well both, we can get over here. It's thankfully not impossible, but you have to kind of do it in a strategic way, a little bit at least. It's nothing too crazy. And this is where your ship will be if you spawn at Giant's Deep. It will be in a little bit better condition because its owner takes care of it. And no thruster damage, thankfully. No reactor damage. Onward. From here we've got Gabbro's fuel tank. We've got... Do we have the ghost matter wavelength? Do we? Yes, we do. So we're going straight there. I can't remember if we'd gotten it or not. So that's good. Like I said, you start out with a camera, but no ghost matter wavelength, no quantum imaging, things like that. Well, I know where the ghost matter is there. And then the other part of this you'll have to worry about is which one of the three you can go through. There are 3 paths up here, and 2 of them will always have ghost matter. So it's figuring out which one doesn't. So the left one is good to go. Though I am seemingly having trouble deciding. All right, we've got a note from Feldspar, or recording from Feldspar. Fuel tank gets us the tornado adjustment What is it? Tornado adjustment. Oh, tornado aerodynamic adjustment. Sorry, I'm getting old. We already had the electrical insulation, so now we're able to have the cyclones spin us in the opposite direction to throw us down below the current. And then from there, we'll hitch a ride on a jellyfish, and we'll go into the core. We've got 3 checks in there, because we don't need a translator for any of them. You don't need a translator for the coordinates. You're just shown the coordinates, so that's good. So, we gotta find a proper cyclone. This time, oh, well, we have to visit Gabbro first. So what was I thinking? How disrespectful of me. It's unfortunate we're in the next loop because we're missing Gabbro's big head. Which I think was in the last video. Yeah. So we got Gabbro's fuel tank up here. Next to the far. And we've got coordinates. This is, of course, something obviously very important to finish the game. But it's not something that'll allow us to get anything else. That'll help us get anything else. As far as something like maybe like a translator would. But still, it's important. Alright. So before, I think it was the last playthrough, I tried to go in the cyclone upside down to get thrown under the current. This time I'm successful. And I get silent running mode for it. So now we are under the current, trying to find the nearest red-orange taxi cab. I've spotted one. I have actually done a few tests with this just to see, and I don't think you get shocked unless you're pretty far outside the tentacles. Like, you have to kind of, you don't just touch them from the inside and get shocked. You have to kind of try. So, fret not. All right, now we're going below the core into the coral forest, and then gonna get 2 checks from that. One for the coral forest, and then of course one once we receive the coordinates. Still love this track, especially those 2 notes. I love the 2 notes at the end. I can't get enough of the 2 notes at the end. They're so good. Now in the coral forest, we'll head over to the probe tracking module. So with this, I think it's a really, really cool idea. Somebody I was talking to in the comments section of one of my videos, I'm sorry if I don't remember the name, I apologize there, but they mentioned suitless, which I had seen suitless before, and I wasn't sure how to feel about it. I'm still not sure how to feel about it. They seem like they had a lot of fun with it, so we'll have to try that eventually too, but there are other variations of this, of course. So this random spawn point is I think a lot of fun. I don't know what you do on Brittle Hollow though, unless you're always guaranteed to get the launch codes really early, because if you get the Know My Warp codes, sure, you can warp from the surface out to the White Hole Station, but it's going to be a little difficult to get up to the Black Hole Forge's warp point to fly all the way to Ash Twin. And maybe it knows that. Maybe it knows that. You can jump on the forge as it's going up, of course, to get up there. But generally, I would think that it would understand that that's not something people casually do. As you see, we barely got shocked there. Thankfully, when you're coming back out, it doesn't really hurt you much. And that allows me to keep going. It takes forever to get above this current. And then once we do, that should be it for us here. Oh, God. I forgot about that. There are some wild events that happen in this. That's not even the craziest one. Say goodbye to the construction yard. We can't really do anything still. We are down a translator. We are so very hoping we can get one soon. But, oh yeah, that's right. I just got the signal scope. Boom. Consider yourself scanned. So, I'm sorry if I didn't pick that up when I was just watching in the middle of talking too much. But we've got the signal scope now, so we do have something pretty big. This will help us in a lot of different ways. I'm trying to remember what frequency we have. We do have... What do we have? I think we might just have Outer Wilds. Eventually I'll go up there. I'm staring hard at it because I know that I want to wait till I've got everything I need before I go up there. And maybe I'm overdramatic about it, but I really do not like the trek up there and then having to do all the puzzles to come back down and then have to do it again. You know, because I forgot to scan the island shard or, you know, read that one podium because I maybe didn't have the translator or something like that. So if I can, I like to wait on that. Once again, I've got silent running mode, so let's go bypass some fishies. Oh yeah, first we've got the signal scope, so let's go ahead and scan Feldspar's signal on our heart. Yeah, that thing is real close. Oh, God. I talk at a certain point, I must have been delirious or something, about the word interloper. I've only ever heard one other person use that word. Maybe I'm just uneducated, I don't know. And the person was director Terry Gilliam. For any Monty Python fans, I was totally spacing out just now and I almost fell down into Bramble. I forgot about that. It just is in another world. So for any Monty Python fans, I love Monty Python to death. I have for a long time, and there's a good documentary on them where Gilliam talks about how, you know, he was the artist of it all. He was the cartoonist, and he came in the picture after Idle, Palin, Cleese, Chapman, Jones, after all of them had already, you know, formed everything. And he sort of came in toward the end, and he said, I felt like such an interloper, or felt like the interloper. And I always found that interesting, that he used that word. I thought that was sounded really cool. And then I heard it here. So we've gotten the function... I would edit that out, but I found it a little too funny. We've got the quantum fluctuations frequency. So now we can scan the shards. We just got Feldspar. And I think I do try to go in here just to get to the vessel. Because you never know. And the vessel, it isn't too crazy to get to. I mean, you've got to go through the nest, but I've gone through it plenty of times. And at a certain point, you've kind of got it down. You know, it's not too difficult, I guess you could say, without sounding arrogant. But yeah, it's easy enough to get to. So you don't need a translator for it. It's a proximity one. So you just go in the vessel and you're good. So that's what I'm about to do. Oh. Yeah, once again, so we didn't really experiment too much with it as far as go through every single pocket dimension in here, but the ones we did go through, I did try to explain, like the anglerfish is right there in the middle, the one white light in the middle, and everything on the outside is a seed. just like in this one, which is I call it the escape pod. I guess you could probably call it the core. It looks like it is the core of what once was the planet. But I could be wrong, but it's the only part of Dark Bramble that has any of the remnants of that old planet with the ice and everything. The giant chunks of ice. But in there... Am I here in end times? Ah, I am. I think, I try to make this one quick. It's amazing how often I'm cutting it so close. Excuse me, fellas. So now, we're gonna try our damnedest to get to the vessel as quickly as we can before we get blown up. And that was, I really do wish in the last video I was able to explore more of the nest, but we had Dark Bramble randomized and it just happened to work out where we didn't need to go through the nest. But I've got a little bit of it in the video I posted right before that, which is kind of like just a little fun faux cinematic, I don't know, like 3-minute video to Andrew Prallo's Dark Bramble track. Oh yeah, I just like launched myself through here to try to pick up speed and already get out. I did that a couple times in this gameplay. I love that I did. Ow. We made it though. Look at us. And we get the imaging rule from that. That is pretty big. It means we can at least touch down on the quantum moon. And we already have the quantum fluctuations frequency, so we can at least knock 2 things out. And then once we get entanglement, we're good to go for the quantum moon. I let a supernova happen too at the end of that fun little cinematic video too. I just happened to time it out well enough to where one was already going off and I was right next to the vessel and I was like, oh, this will be cool. So back to Ember Twin with us. Ember Twin is definitely one of the better planets to start from. It has 2 fuel tanks on it. It's got a few different checks. It has low gravity, so you can just float across most of it. It's got another planet right next to it that you can jump to if for any reason you were not able to warp. Which, if you're not able to warp, what's the point of going to Ash Twin, right? Because maybe if you have the translator, but yeah, maybe if you have the translator, but not the Know My Warp codes. Once again, I already have the quantum frequency, so I'm bolting up here. Gonna scan me a quantum shard real quick. There we go. And then back down. I don't think did I just scan chart? Maybe I did, actually. Probably. But, or am I going back there now? I'm along for the ride just like you. No, I'm going to my ship. So now, we still don't have the translator. We're trying to do all we can before getting that. Which is unfortunate because it really is beneficial to get that soon. If you can get the translator soon enough in a run, then you can knock out so much stuff. And to have to work around that for so long and then get it and go back, circle back to those planets and to other astral bodies, that's not the easiest. And it definitely knocks some time, or it adds some time. Got a suit puncture trap from that Esker scan. Thanks a lot, Esker. I wanted to talk to Esker also to show the archipelago hints that I was referring to before. These are the hints that you can get from each of the travelers, each of the Outer Wilds Ventures travelers. such as Esker, Gabbro, Chert, all them. And I did test this out once. In my experience, I only got one hint about that particular astral body, which I don't know if I ever tried Esker, because I think Esker would have told me about Timber Hearth, not necessarily the Attlerock. But they only gave me one per their astral buddy. So Reback on Brittle Hollow gave me, what was it? It was like one I already had. Or something like that. It wasn't anything I really needed or something. Just to, like I said, I was just checking it out. And then I went back to them and I couldn't get anything else. That was it. That's all you get. Speaking of what you get, we just got the Deep Space radio frequency. This will allow us to scan the radio tower here on Timber Hearth, and also the Deep Space satellite way up in space. Hence the name. Nothing big there, just a Mallow, which is always a delicious treat. We got both Quantum Shards, Esker as well. Those are all scanned, but we still haven't scanned that radio tower, so that'd be good for us to do. After that, we're gonna be done for now here. I'm telling you, Timber Hearth Forest does make it more enjoyable, more entertaining. It certainly doesn't make it easier. Ship damage trap. I just damaged it anyway. What else are you gonna add to it? Come on. Biggest three things, really the biggest two things, are first and foremost the reactor. If you've seen my log sanity video, you know what I'm talking about. And then right after that, I go straight for the fuel, because I have run out of fuel as well. In my very first video, I was booking it toward the white hole to get the Tower of Quantum Knowledge, and I could just completely ran out of fuel as I was trying to stop by hitting my retro rockets. So I then just kept flying past the white hole and the white hole station, and then had to stay out in the depths of space until the supernova happened, which thankfully wasn't too much longer after that. It was like, I don't know, another 30, 60 seconds, something like that. All right, we're fixed. Off we go. I'm sure these trees are probably bogging down my computer, but still, I think it's worth it, kind of. So I see the Deep Space satellite out there, and I say, let's go cruising through the stranger. As in right through the spokes. At least it's not stopping us this time like it does with the cloak. And thankfully the solar sails weren't out yet. Oh yeah, looking at it from the back, it very, very vaguely reminds me of the alien spacecraft from the end of Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Now, I know that was a very different, much bigger setup there. But still. Damn, the Deep Space satellite looks like HAL 9000 with your whatever you call it around it, your focus there, your like target scope thing. I don't know what it's called. I don't play first-person shooters. Trying not to match velocity if I can help it, so we're getting as stopped as we can get without doing that. We got entanglement rule. Nice. This is fantastic. We've got everything we need for the quantum moon. So where to now? We've got Bramble, we've got the Interloper, or the Terry Gilliam, whatever you want to call it. Could go to the Quantum Moon. I think we saved that, though. I don't think I've scanned Rebek yet. I haven't done anything with the Hanging City. I can't really yet because I don't have the translator. At least I don't think I do still. Even with it visible, the stranger's still difficult to see. Damn. That's crazy. I mean, it wasn't meant to be seen, so there's that. Pretty wild. Alright, to Brittle Hollow we go. And normally I'll do my whole sky breaking, but I think this time it was all about getting to Hollow's Lantern. Oh no, it was about getting to the Quantum Moon. Okay, cool. I couldn't remember. I'm on Brittle Hollow, but if I can help it, I try to board or land on the Quantum Moon from Giant's Deep or Dark Bramble. Because with both of those, you can... I mean, you're always going to land at the South Pole. But with those two, you can travel farther north than any others, at least from what I remember in my experience. So that's nice. And then when you're really far north, but not quite at the North Pole, you can keep spinning around and then find yourself the shrine, the Quantum Shrine, hop in it, and then I would suggest at that point one of the three other planets. So that would be the Twins, Timber Hearth, or Brittle Hollow. And they should all allow you to then walk straight up to the North Pole. We are using our shrine door codes because we don't have that crystal sphere. And then trying to get to one of those two I mentioned before. There we are. I say that, but this doesn't get me any further north, and I'm not sure. I may have just stepped onto it not quite north enough on Brittle Hollow and didn't realize it. Or we were at a section of... I meant to say we were at maybe at a section of Brittle Hollow that was already further north than that, but not far enough as the North Pole. I don't know. It's all a blur, even though I'm looking directly at it right now. So, Timber Hearth, usually the best one because it's the most open. So I mean, I think they all work, but you can do no wrong with Timber Hearth. We got Bramble, Twins. Where's our eye? I always love floating on down here to see Solanum. Now, as far as that pronunciation goes, I don't think I've heard anything one way or another, so I just say Solanum. I guess if they're all named after plants, I could look that up too. It might be Solanum. So if that's the case, I'll change that one up. Get back to you on that. Translator! We've got it, finally. This is so creepy. I think I turn away kind of and then turn back, and she's like in a different... Boom. Oh god, it's wild the way they do that. Yeah. Poor Solanum. All her other forms are destroyed by ghost matter. But her Eye of the Universe one, still alive. Ish. Alright, up we go. We're on the Timber Hearth Quantum Moon. That's where we always land after the 6th location. Now I try to catch up to the Attlerock. I think I'm successful. Yeah, I am. Gotta love that. I keep pushing away, yeah. With planets like Giant's Deep, my god, it's just impossible. So now we got our translator. It's time to translate. Let's go to the South Pole here. We've got the eye signal locator, and under there, there's going to be that Know My text on the wall from the scroll. So we'll translate that. And get a signal. Lucky us. Take back what's rightfully mine. My ship's a little ways away. And the next thing I want to get is right there. Mining site 2B. Just be careful where you land. Or how hard you land. So that worked out for us. We'll kick that open and try to hop across without missing our landing up top. Let's see if we can do it. Nice. As you can see, green text. That's what we're looking for. We got this surface integrity scanner. This is really useful for the Tower of Quantum Knowledge. I don't know, have I ever used it on anything else? I know you can, and it can be helpful for certain things. I was watching a gameplay of this from About Oliver, who's an astrophysicist from what I remember. I think that's what he said. And his genius idea was throwing that sucker on the dam, on the ring world, on the stranger. So he slung his scout all the way on the dam, and you could see it once the solar sails open. I think it's immediately like starts at a lower number. It goes from like 100% to, I don't know, maybe something like 75. And then it goes down by 1 every couple of seconds or something like that, every few seconds or something like that. And you could see it happen in like real time. It was really cool. I definitely couldn't say enough about the About Oliver playthrough. That was a really good one. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, your ship's a little further away, Jake. We've got our translated stuffs here. I think this is it. We've already got the chert note, because we remembered that eventually. We just need, hide and seek. And I think that's where we're headed. No, are we headed there now? We're headed for fuel is what we're headed for. No, I think we're making our way out of here. Let's hitch a ride on the geyser. Yeah. I think there was some part of me that thought I might be able to make it to Brittle Hollow. Very foolish. Very foolish. Getting close. Yeah. Oh, no, never mind. Oh. I forgot. I was just like, screw it then. Well, all right. We've got, aside from the hide and seek frequency, aside from the distress beacon frequency, right? I think aside from those two, I don't think I got those yet. I might not have been paying enough attention. I think the distress beacons, yeah, definitely not now. Trying to think of anything else I need. I do have everything to go to the Tower of Quantum Trials, so that's good. Yeah, so it would be wise to head there next. But I'm not always wise, so... Oh, let's get some lake bed cave action. If I can ever remember where it is. Clearly I was Struggling here. Good thing about the lake bed cave is while you can't leave it if you don't have entanglement, you can still get there. So if you have a translator and you need to find another check, you can go to the lake bed cave. Oh, this is, yeah, I was talking about the genius design of this maze here. It looks like you should go straight over there, and then it looks like you should go straight here, but you actually have to take a right, and then you have to wait to take the next left, and then it's so immediate that you would miss it. There it is. It's really genius, the design of it. I do love it. This game is all about that, though. All about that. Just, you think something's one way when it's the exact opposite. Now here we are in Quantumville. Oh, hello. That was close. That was close. And the last one. So in here we've got our text to translate. We've already scanned our cave shard. We got our creepy bones. And we'll make our way to Coleus's cave. Boom. There we are. Now that we're done in here, we also have the Sunless City. So we've got the Sunless City, and we've also got the South Pole, because it's got a scroll on it. And then finally, we've got Clary's ship. Oh, and Ash Twin. This is what I'm talking about. There's a lot the translator unlocks for you. The sooner you get that, the more you're gonna get from it. So you can have, hopefully, a quicker run. We'll take care of Clary's Comet ship first. What I've tried to say before was, yeah, the attention to detail on this is so good. And so sad, too. Because you can see in there, if I ever find out how to get there, you can see in there that they've got Clary's bones, because Clary wasn't able to get out because it was frozen outside. If I remember correctly, right? Yeah, it should have been frozen, so she wasn't able to get out, I don't think. It's kind of terrifying. Into the Sunless City. We're trying to time this out right just to get to the high energy lab quickly enough before it fills up with sand. Let's repel. We have 2 checks in here, both translation texts. One, of course, is the fishy fishy. To the left here. And then once we've got that, we'll head to the high energy lab. You like that? I clearly don't know what I'm doing. All right. I do love in the Log Sanity version how they have the adult text up above me. So that's another cool place just to kind of have to go up to. It says map disabled trap. Maybe I'm missing something, but I still got my map, right? I've got my globe over there on the left. I'm sure I'm just not looking at something the correct way. I don't know. Oh, view map. Now I feel silly. It's talking about the big map that I never ever I never use. That's probably why I wasn't thinking of it. I'm like, it's right there, guys. I didn't think of that at all. That's funny. So we'll have after our high energy lab, we already have the ghost matter wavelength, and now we have the translator. So we can hit up the Eye Shrine here in the Sunless City. That'll be good. Yep, and then we'll do our best to get past here, but we're not very skilled at it, clearly. I love the way this winds through, too. I just love the design of this whole planet. And even to get back here, everything's kind of a fun trek. High Energy Lab. Let's go ahead and get our one check here. And then after that, I think I head to the shrine. Feldspar. Yeah, I think I head back to the cannon. So, that's right, we're gonna get the scroll real quick first. So we'll get this here, and then we have the Eye Shrine, then we have Ash Twin. I think, like, wait a minute. I've got this guy. I'd almost forgotten. We'll translate this. Ba-ba-boom. Another fun signal. Ash Twin's getting a little lower. That'll help us out. Maybe knock those out this loop. And yeah, I think now I'm trying to find the cannon. Because I'm a fool who forgot where it was. See, I love this planet. You can just float all around on it. Unlike Giant's Deep or something like that. Alright, we got the cannon right over here. So we'll head back down to the city. Knock out the shrine. What else is on this exact planet? We've got the distress beacon. And is that it? We've still got Ash Twins translations, but we've already done the ATP. We entered that. It's the first time I've ever hit that particular cactus. Got a kick out of it. I love the colors on that. They're kind of muted, but they're really nice. We'll head through here. You never know how this Ghost Matter is going to be. It is randomized, so I will always have Ghost Matter randomized in these randomizer runs. Because otherwise, there's no point. You know what I mean? Because we all, if you've played the game enough, you know where the Ghost Matter is. So you don't have to even think about it. I don't want that for this playthrough. I want to be able to, I want to have to I want that to be an obstacle. How about that? Okay, so you'll see that there's no tractor beam right there. Once again, I apologize, I'm not remembering the specific name of the awesome commenter who pointed this out to me. There's no tractor beam up there because there's no power going to it. And I think they were saying if you turn the lights on down there to the Eye Shrine District, that kicks on the power. So then the tractor beam will be active. And I think that's what I'd done on the Log Sanity run. And that's why I was able to see it there. Makes so much sense. That's one of those things, another attention to detail, you know? I love it. So in our next run, we might test that out. As you can see, we don't know how to levitate, apparently. Ascend. Yeah, I was having a little trouble with gravity here. There we go. Start with Brittle Hollow. Actually, that's not a possibility yet. Bonk. That was a little harder than a bonk. So while I'm waiting for the sand to lower, head over to Ember Twins Tower. We'll knock out the scroll here. And then after this, we'll get the one at Brittle Hollow's tower, and then that's it for the twins for a while, until we get that distress beacon frequency. But, I mean, we're done for a good bit. So we got an audio trap, End Times, our supernova song, even though the sun's not ready yet. Alright, we've got Timber Hearth, and then Brittle Hollow. What's so funny is hearing this song play early like this, and since it's early, the game itself isn't ready for it, so it'll still play the other music wherever you are, under it, and it's just like, ugh. It's a little much. I love it. Alright, so back to Ember Twin. With limited remaining fuel. Check out our buddy Chert. And our ship. Perfect timing. We're gonna have some really weird timing in a bit, you'll see. Where to now? Yeah, I see the Interloper there and the white hole. Oh, it's late enough trying to get to the Tower of Quantum Knowledge. And also the White Hole Station. Unfortunately, I think I'm a little early. You gotta time this just right. I think before my next run, I'm gonna see if I can find out how to get to the top floors of the tower before it falls through. The concern I have is I'd still have to wait until I have enough boost to do so, right? I would think. I mean, at least wait till 100. Because then the ones I've seen doing it have the normal 100%, so I want to give myself enough. But yeah, that'd be good to have under our belts. I'm trying to think of any other shortcuts we could be taking to avoid certain things. Could glitch into the Comet, like I said. I'm trying not to do something that, I guess, egregious. I mean, doing something you're not necessarily supposed to do to get as a shortcut to get to a certain location in the game, that's fun. But just straight up clipping through something, I think that's just a little much for me. I mean, not saying anything about anybody else. It's just not what I want to do in these runs. Gotta love when your oxygen's leaking. If you haven't seen it yet, there's a video which takes snippets from some other kind of joke music video. I can't remember what it is. I just don't know. But it's got a supernova happening, and as it's happening in Outer Wilds, a cowboy holding his hat, shouting, screaming as loud as he can. It's singing, but it's like at the top of his lungs. It comes out of the supernova, and it is the funniest / catchiest video. I really do like it. I think he's good. He really hits those notes. It's something along the lines of first time supernova, and you can see him on the thumbnail. It's beautiful, truly beautiful. Now we'll head over to the Hollow. And what do we have here? We've got Hollow's Lantern we'll start with. So we've got our translator for here, but we haven't yet used it on Brittle Hollow. So we've still got the Hanging City. We've still got Southern Observatory, Hollow's Lantern here. I'm trying to think of anything else. Solanum Ship. And then we're pretty far along in this loop. Yeah. I'm gonna find out where that Terminator Nomai is. It's the T2 reference of T800 sticking his thumb out, giving the thumbs up out of the lava, or whatever it is, liquid metal or whatever. So we've got our check here on the projection stone. And I found out it seems to change color, because I think last time it was like a nice. Last time it was green, and this time I think it was purple, or a shade of that. Gotta watch out for those fish, man. Not fishmen. Well, you have to watch out for fishmen too. You never know, man. We'll head over to Brittle Hollow, and I think we might start out with not Clary, Solanum. No? Once again, I'm along for the ride just like you. I know we haven't done in that wild. I think it wasn't it going in the black hole there? Yeah. Yeah, we haven't gotten, because we haven't done Black Hole Forge yet. I know we haven't, because, you gotta love that. I thought I was a better... No, I was trying to get in there because I was looking for the tower. That's what it was. I totally forgot that I was... Since it was the end now of this loop, that's where I was headed. Yeah, I'm gonna find an easier way if I can. If it's something that's feasible enough. Alright, we've got another signal. Aren't we special? And I think we've got enough time. We've got enough time to head back to Brittle Hollow, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, because there's nothing else here. We've already got Whitehole Station. Yeah, there's Whitehole Station there. And I think we're... Am I hearing it? No. Okay, that's just... The space theme. Love the space theme, by the way. For a while, it was like the only song I was listening to. I don't know, I think it's like number 5 on the soundtrack. And yeah, it's so good. It's just one of those really great ways to keep the motif going, and it sounds very beautiful. right. You know me, gotta come in hotter than I should be. That was kind of smooth though, wasn't it? Now we'll go down to the control module. We'll translate that bit-o text. There's end times. Yeah, I thought I was hearing it again, but I now feel like I'm imagining things. We'll go through here and just drop this crystal sphere down the first notch. I'm really glad I did the log sanity run recently and got a good playthrough out of that. That being said, I don't know if I want to do that again. I'm reminded of it in places, well, maybe not like this, but it reminds me of, oh yeah, we have a hide and seek frequency, we're good there. I think I was actually thinking it on Hollow's Lantern, because when we were looking at that projection stone, and others like it, I guess, and the projection stones on the ceiling of where we just were, you know, because it's got the opposite gravity, and there's just so much within that quick amount of text. I mean, it's good. I mean nothing negative toward the person, you know, the creator of it. It's awesome. It's just that it was a lot, you know, and I'm surprised I got it in under 4 hours. I really am. We got Giants Deep at night. No headlights will help you now. That is really cool, the green and the red there. Yeah, this is me doing my damnedest to get into the construction yard. I hopped out of the ship again. Unsuccessfully so. 'Twas a futile attempt. Alright. Now we are, I think, set for, since we just checked out Giants Deep, I think we'd probably go there. And then Brittle Hollow. I do try a few new things at Brittle Hollow, so I'm waiting for that. All right, back on Ember Twin, jamming out. That is one thing we don't normally start with. Some good tunes. Well, I guess once it gets daylight out on Timber Hearth, the tunes start getting good. Okay. No idea why I did that. This is what it must be like watching me try to navigate here. Like, what the hell was he thinking? I do spot the sun station and just immediately make an impromptu trip there. So that was kind of cool. Yeah, trying to do it without setting everything up first. It's a little bit more difficult, but it's nothing too crazy. It just takes more time. And here we are. So land on this, we'll read the text inside, and then with places like this and the Interloper and sometimes the Quantum Moon, you got to prepare for dying at the end of it. And in this case, it got pretty scary, or it gets pretty scary. We knocked into that beam, and whenever we do, I seriously fear the worst. I feel like I'm going to fly away, but I was very pleasantly surprised. We were able to pull ourselves back in and made it onto the sun station. First tee this time, as opposed to the last two playthroughs where, let's see, it took me 4 times and 2 times respectively. That was fun. And we've still got 9 minutes and 30 seconds to spare? Yeah. Let's launch ourselves into the sun. Into the heart of our nearest star. So that was the end of that run. Now, I don't know. We'll figure it out. But this has been a blast. This has been a blast trying to find these new ways of playing the randomizer, because the randomizer on its own is a really, really cool creation by all the mod creators. I credit them at the very end, so if you ever want to know who makes any of these mods, I think I credit every person, yeah, every creator. Because even though I'm not using things like Light Bramble for this run, here in the future I'm trying to just keep all of them credited if I can. They deserve it, man. They deserve it. All right, Ember Twin, what do we got here? We've got everything translated. I think the only thing we need is we've got the distress beacon. And we don't have that yet. So we've got our hide and seek frequency. Since we're not spawning there, let's head over to Timber Hearth. Play hide and seek with kiddos, and then get our couple of checks for that. Oh, I forgot I was coming in so hot. Not too bad. Better than earlier. Smashing into trees. I love coming in like this. It's the coolest thing. I feel like Maverick. Alright, down we go. I don't think I've ever stuck around long enough to find out what I think it's a banjo player is playing. Maybe they are just tuning it, but it sounds almost like they're playing certain notes. I could be wrong. But you know how games are. They'll sneak some stuff in like that. I think Pralo, like I said, I think last run, or the run before, I think Andrew Pralo snuck in a track with this hide and seek, these hide and seek radios. It's like a version of the main theme, I think. Very percussive. There's our Timber Hearth track. What are we doing? All right, we're good there. Now it's time for the proper Brittle Hollow journey. And we've already got everything on the surface. Should. Except for the distress beacon. Whoa. Oh yeah, that's right, I'm gonna scan this. It's not always the smartest thing to set your ship down in any kind of quantum area. Thankfully this time we're okay. But you never know. I've had my ship launched at me so hard in one of these areas from it glitching out. It's the funniest thing. Where to now? Let's do a barrel roll first. And once again, I'm not going to take the back entrance to the Hanging City just because I have a better strategy to knock more out with it. And we've already been to the surface of the observatory. And it currently is a little soon in the loop for me to try to go to the Southern Observatory because there are still, most of the planet's still intact. And it's much better for me to hop down to the Southern Observatory, like drop my ship down there and then jump over and then get back on the surface and then get back to my ship if a lot of that area right around it is gone. Careful. Okay, yeah, I think, yeah, now we get Solanum. Thankfully, we got all that boost. Once we get this, we'll have both ships. And a sweet oxygen refill. Nice. So now we've got that. We've got the tower. We've got the shard atop the tower. We've got the campsite. We've got the mural under the... beneath the escape pod. We've gotten Rebek's fuel tank. I don't know if... Did we scan them? I don't know. I don't remember anymore. But I can definitely say we are going down to the Hanging City. And we are gonna get ourselves into the Black Hole Forge, one way or another. Now in this area we have 3 checks. 2 are quick and easy. They are just Solanum's school project scroll when she was a little kiddo. And then the eye shrine at the top of the, or in the back of the eye shrine. But you see here, notice that I'm trying a little something else, if I can, and failing miserably. And I almost die. And I hit my head. Clearly, I know what I'm doing. Clearly, I know what I'm doing. I just give up here. So that was a failed attempt at leaping to the Black Hole Forge. And we'll head back here to the Eye Shrine, get that text real quick, knock it out, just hop over, boom. And we didn't get the class project yet. Oh yeah, this is just like, it's crazy how they fit the Nomai right in that bed. I mean, obviously they're gonna probably set something up like that, but it feels so deliberate. Like, almost like it's really saying something. It's hitting home this idea that they were all just in their normal day-to-day lives. And then ghost matter. Here we are, heading back to school. I love the all the children's handwriting and the adults' handwriting next to it. That was a nice touch. Boom. Yeah, that one didn't, it did register, it just didn't show up immediately. I had to pause it and then unpause it, yeah. Alright, we got 2 out of the 3. We've just got our Black Hole Forge. And I say, screw it, I'm gonna give it one more go. Because I haven't leapt up there in a run yet. I've flown my ship up there. I mean, I think I've tried once or twice to do the big leap up there while riding the Black Hole Forge up to the ceiling. But I don't think I've not successfully done so. So let's get ourselves ready. Let's aim and fire. The goal is to land right here. There's a little flat piece right there, and then right before it hits the top, you launch yourself up to the ceiling. Success. I forgot how happy I was. It shook the whole controller. Yeah, we made it. Nice. So, I do like both methods a lot. I love both methods. I love flying my ship through there, and I love the leap up on top of the Black Hole Forge itself. So cool. It's just those, what do you call them? I don't know. What would you call that? Those crazy feats are what I love so much about this randomizer, is it gets me doing stuff like that again. I mean, I say again, but I never did it before. So now I get to find these cool strats, you know, that maybe other people are already using, and I can see how they do it, or I can try to find my own way to do it, or whatever. It's so much fun. And I'm trying to find a way down here, because I can't remember if there is an opening at all, and I do see one, but I'm not able to fit in it. It's a big old spacesuit. And my entire, like, camp on my back. Woo. Oh yeah, even though I'm on snow, I'm still attached to the ceiling. That was close. All right, we're done there. What left on Brittle Hollow? I'm pretty sure we got Rebeck. The only time I actually remember going to Rebeck was when we did the fuel tank. Whoa, yeah, that was kind of crazy following that down to the black hole there. Okay, this is us going back to them. Okay, cool. I couldn't quite remember. So we'll scan their banjo. Whoa. Okay. Right? Yeah, let's get a quick refuel. Oh yeah, at this point I'm just talking about something, I don't remember what it was. It was just something totally useless. And the entire intent of me coming here is just lost. And so I leave without even scanning Rebeck, and I was laughing at it afterwards. Yeah, I remember how I did this, okay. So it didn't do anything there. I'm not the best multitasker, if you can't tell after so many playthroughs. Jeez. So, I get out of there and wonder what the hell I just did. So I'm like, oh yeah, I went up there to do something. So now I just do it from the ship. Whoa. Yeah, and I run into a little trouble here. But it's all good. I'll get there. There we go. Well, no. There we go. And there's our distress beacon frequency. And we're already on Brittle Hollow, so that's a quick hop, skip, jump, fly. I'm trying to remember if we do it. Yeah, we do it immediately because we've already got our ship up in the air. We're in scanning mode. Let's knock it out. Assuming we can find it. There it is. So that's 1 of 3. Then we'll have... yeah, my ship's not scanning it. So it's just... you never know. You never know. I mean, I don't, at least. I never know if I'm gonna be able to scan it with the ship or not. So we got 2 things there because we scanned a distress beacon of any kind and also escape pod 1. The same thing happens with quantum frequency, with the quantum, fluctuations frequency, is that the first quantum item you scan will get you a check and that quantum item itself will as well. This oxygen tank, it's tough to get to. Maybe you can like stand, I think you can stand on the thruster and do it, but I just end up doing it from here. I think that's it. I lied. I think that's it. Now to the observatory. So, if you haven't seen this yet, what I try to do here, my strategy, the best one I've come up with so far at least, is when it comes to the Southern Observatory, find one of these platforms that'll fit your ship. And it's usually, these are all kind of grouped together, these like 3 or 4 that do fit the ship, so they're kind of easy to spot, and they're right close to the observatory itself. Yeah, I thought we were going down. Turns out we were? Yeah. We'll have to wait on that one. On that one. It's all good. We'll make this happen. You gotta love those moments too, where the just natural chaos of a game like this, that it doesn't really have scripted events, it just has physics, and we'll see what happens. And that's one of the things that can happen. I love it. It's so much fun. I think I go straight back to Brittle Hollow. Or maybe I search, yeah, there, yeah, I think I do go back to it. But not before not being able to scan that with my ship. Oh, I don't think I think I said this in my original run here, but I watched my video, I think it's my most recent video, with my commentary on it, and it's the funniest thing. When I first scan the Ember Twin beacon, I immediately say, I need to tell myself not to forget that I just scanned this. And sure enough, like an hour later or something like that, I come back and go, I don't think I scanned this. I think there might be something wrong with it. The funniest thing. No, I just forgot again after I told myself not to. Oh, I was cracking up, man. So yeah, there are definitely plenty of times in here where I've caught myself saying Solanum when I meant to say Clary, and I've said, I think one time I was like, yeah, but that's only on the randomizer version. But I was like, no, I meant to say Log Sanity version, or whatever. I know what I mean. You just have to interpret it, is all. All right, we're heading to the Interloper. Monty Python and the Interloper. Going a little fast. Zoom. So we'll hit this, and then this is another one just like the sun, where you pretty much got to plan on this being the end of the loop for you, because there's no way out. I'm sure if you wait long enough, you'll be back around the sun again, and you can try to get out. And I'm sure speedrunners and other people like that, boom, know of a way as well. This is crazy. I really got worried here because I was foolish enough to just come in so hot and then try to make it work. My ship got blown up, but I still manage. I'm proud to say. It's always scary though, because when you do this, you're obviously much more vulnerable, and you really run a risk of just coming in straight down on it. Kind of like I did on Timber Hearth earlier. Though that was intentional. Also, about Timber Hearth, I happen to have just been messing around with the free cam mod that I have, that I make my thumbnails with. And I was on Timber Hearth, and I really wanted to make this cool shot where I pop out of the geyser, and it's like against the backdrop of a sunset and all this kind of cool stuff. But you can still see the ship down there on the launch pad. And then I did all that, and I wake up on Ember Twin. So it doesn't really, the thumbnail's probably not gonna work as directly with what we ended up doing here, but you get the idea. I'm out of my ship and having to find other means of getting around. I'm not gonna, yeah, I like the thumbnail a little too much to just go do something else. Come down here to Poke and Pie. I'm pretty sure their names are probably pronounced very differently than however I just did, but I'm saying Poke and Pie until I get corrected otherwise. We've got Pie, I think is the one up here, and then Poke is down there. So there's Pie, if I'm not mistaken, because I read it here to find out. And then Poke is all the way in the middle here in the ruptured core. As you can see, I'm not matching velocity. Well, you can't see that I'm not matching velocity. I technically am, but I'm not pressing anything to match velocity. Let's see, what does it say? This is what about to turn to the shuttle. Yeah. Oh, I was wrong. I was backwards. Poke is up there. Pie's down here. I knew that. I had a system for figuring it out, and I totally forgot that system. So yeah, Poke is up there. Pie is down here. Just so sad. And I guess we'll do the same. So that's the end of that one. Now, I think we try the observatory again. What else do we have? We haven't done the Tower of Quantum Trials. Nor have we gotten anything translated on Giant's Deep. Let's see, Giant's Deep, it's got nothing really as far as that goes yet. We should be completely done with the Twins. We've got the Sun Station. Timber Hearth, right? We've even got the hide and seek. Yeah, I think we're good on Timber Hearth as well. Brittle Hollow, except for the Southern Observatory. And Dark Bramble has 2 of them. Because we haven't scanned the distress beacon there, and we haven't read the Know My Grave recorder. So for now, let's hit up Giant's Deep. Oh yeah, I sneak through here. And almost slam into an island. And it's Gabbro, it's not even of use to me. Not that Gabbro isn't, but not right now. I love doing this. I love floating through all those cyclones like that. Let's go under Statue Island. If we can. We'll manage. We'll manage. Eventually. There we are. So we've got our one check-in here over by the Nomai statue. Well, one of a few. We've got the recorder over there. And we just got launched. We got our check already. And I've talked about this a few times. I think like 3 or 4 times now. This Easter egg, this light on the wall that looks to be out. It's not actually a light. Well, I guess maybe it kind of is. It's a banana. I don't understand the banana part of it. I almost died there. That was pretty close. And I definitely don't understand this, I'll say 67 part of it. But, and I don't know if those numbers are always that or if they change. I can't remember. But it's something you can translate. So we'll go now to our next check and do just that. I figured I might as well just get it, you know? I was just double checking Gabbro's ship there. And now we're looking for the construction yard. We've had some pretty crazy close calls this playthrough. I love it. Every playthrough is different in so many fun ways, and that's why this is so enjoyable to me. I don't remember what the point of any of this that you're seeing right now on your screen is, as far as this Easter egg. I go ahead and just get this check out of the way. Yeah, and if you look closely, you can see like these other buttons and lights and things like that on it. Maybe it's I'm sure it's probably a reference to something that I just don't get. We got our check. We're good there now. Let's pop that out. And then, what's this? I don't know. We'll scan it here, and it talks about divergence value, current divergence value. Crazy number there. Divergence meter active, now calculating world line divergence. L, psi, congru. And then the final big message here. To all those who have streamed and clipped their playthroughs, I offer my humble thanks. Thank you for discovering the anomalies within this world line. You're welcome. Thank you guys for making such an amazing game. And showing the industry that people can do this. Small groups can do this. Can make, as far as I'm concerned, pretty much the greatest game of all time. I really thought I was going to die there too. It's a toss-up between this and Fez. I have been a very, very big fan of Fez for many, many years. I was playing it at least once a year, all the way to 209.4%. But just the more I play this, it's really hard to... It's slowly crept up and gotten past Fez. And I love Little Gomez. It's kind of hard for me to put that into silver medal place. Whee! We got that. We got the Easter egg too, so that's cool. Now we've gotten everything here except for yonder tower. And now, like I've said before, I just park up here. But this time, I go a step further. Well, I go a step further and smash my windshield. But in addition to that, I say, screw it, let's go in here. Might as well. Nice. Like a glove. As they say. As he says. So begins our long trek up the tower. So here we're going to get 3 checks. We've got the shard that we'll scan. We've got one of the pedestals, and it's during the second trial. And then finally we've got the, I don't know what you call it, you've completed the trials text that will scan and translate at the end. So those will all be the final 3 we need, I think, for Giant's Deep. And at this point, we've also already gotten the Interloper. We've gotten the White Hole Station. We've even got the tower popping through the White Hole Station. Yeah, not this pedestal, it'll be the next one. We've gotten the Quantum Moon, Sun Station. I'm trying to think of like all these extra little things. We've gotten the Hollow's Lantern, everything on the Attlerock. Here's one of them right here, the checks. What else? Oh yeah, when it tries to translate that, if it's just in front of you, it'll automatically try to translate it and put down your scout, which of course puts away your photo. It's kind of weird. Here's our scan of the shard. Oh no, I already did it, sorry. Ugh. This one always gets me, it's just kind of weird. I think I've seen other people just do a quick, I think they do it with their mouse, of course, is a quick up and down motion over and over again so they see the arch. But for me, I just do it nice and slowly with my controller. There we go. And the final test. Final trial. I always try to see if I can snap a quick photo before I get all the way to the bottom. I was only so lucky with this one. Try to get 2 of them at once if I can. In that initial tractor beam down to the trial itself. We're good. That's that. Now we'll go to that text translate at the very end. And then hop down to our sweet submerged ship. Semi-submerged. Can't have your autopilot going out. It's important. I think I'm just having I'm having so much trouble staying in one spot. Well, for one, I'm not matching velocity, and I don't even know if that would matter in a situation like this, because it's like the ship is pushing on me, the water's kind of pushing me up, but then I'm also pushing on my boosters. I don't know. It's all over the place. So where does this put us? We've still got 2 in Dark Bramble. And those might be the 2 last ones we need. Or are they? Let us find out. I clearly know what I'm doing. Goodbye, Giants Deep. It's been fun. Love it. Almost hit the orbital probe cannon again. Gotta watch out for that. It's not to be trusted. So like I said, I should, at least in my mind, have 85 out of 87. Because there are only 2 now left in Dark Bramble. But turns out I'm missing 1 more. We're at 84 out of 87. I try not to check that until I really think I'm done or know the final, 2 or 3 that I have to get. Just to see, like, am I wrong about that? Am I still missing something? And in this case, yeah, that was the case. So from here, I'm just kind of getting close to planets and seeing, okay, did I miss anything else here? And just sort of calculating in my head, like, what all was here, what all was there. I don't have a sheet that I go by. I don't have anything like on my phone or anything like that. It's just me trying to do it from memory, which is not like the toughest thing in the world. It's only 87 of them. The log sanity one was a feat. I couldn't believe that I was able to do that one. That one, I seriously thought we were going to be looking at the ship log. So that was really cool. But this one, after you do it a few times and you can split it up by each astral body, you're good to go. So, checking out Timber Hearth. Anything left on here? Of course not. Timber Hearth. Pretty easy to get everything done quickly. And then did the Deep Space Satellite. What about our boy Brittle Hollow? See, we got Hollow's Lantern, we got the Hanging City. We got the Distress Beacon. We've gotten the above ground campsite. We've gotten the Gravity Cannon, the Mural, the Tower, the Shard, the above ground stuff like the Hanging City and Southern Observatory. But we're missing the actual Southern Observatory itself, it turns out. So, I know what I've got to do. And down we go. So I'm going to find my spot. Park my aircraft there. And once again, these are all kind of lumped together here, so you can just pick whichever one. And be careful, though. I mean, I've got 100%. No, I think I've got 100. I think I've got 100% boost. I actually don't know. Ouch. No, I got 150% boost, and still I was a little concerned I might not make it. It's been some scary moments trying to jump over here. Trying to leap over here. Speaking of leap, I think I try it from all the way down here. There we go. We're in. All the way back. And now we've just got the last two, and they're on Dark Bramble. So we'll head back to our ship. As soon as we figure out how to operate doors, we'll head back to our ship. And then once again, I try to find the open area, that I can, and then I'll pop down from there. Oh yeah, it fell. And I try to make it in before it hits the black hole, which I do. Till that happens. So that's kind of the craziest thing. I know there have been some wild exit from the white hole glitches and things like that, but for me, that one was the craziest. That was wild. It's a really cool way to end this loop too, before we do our final loop, or end this playthrough before our final loop, which we'll be able to knock out now. We'll get a quick 5-6 minutes of sleep, and then those two final checks in Dark Bramble, I mean, they're in the final area, so I can just go grab them real quick. And with the warp core, I mean, I'll be able to translate with the warp core. I'll be able to scan with the warp core. So we'll do that. We'll pass through the nest, and then we'll head to the vessel from there. We're at the final stretch. This has been a good run. This has been a really good run. And this is why I didn't want to abandon it, if you will. I wanted to make sure that we got something out of this. I don't know if this narration, if this voiceover had any worth whatsoever. I am going to be putting out a non-voiceover version of this, just like I do with the other ones. In case people are sick of my voice. I get it. And then, I'm hoping in the future this doesn't happen to where I have tech issues. I shouldn't in any way. I know it was. I'm not telling you. Too embarrassed. We'll head over here into the ATP, which is a little more sane this time as opposed to last. That was just Last 2 times, actually. I love how you can kind of try to get down there, but then it just gives up. I love that. You got a little bit more sand to go away, and now you're in. Well, this time the ATP is pretty sane. We're looking good. And this is where I was talking about it. Like, before, you know, it's not really those that are moving. Those giant cables, the big axis in the middle, or axle in the middle with the cables, that's connected to the planet. It's this long platform in the middle that's moving, as you can see here. But normally it's moving straight forward. In that version of Ash Twin, it's moving sideways, and that's what throws you all around. It's crazy. We got our warp core. Time to head to the Bramble without hitting the cactus. Can we do it without touching the ground? I think we did. I don't know. Another great track. I think when I've watched people, I talk about it enough here and there, but when I've watched people play this for the first time and they hear this track, like, they get scared because they think it's the end of the loop. And so they're really booking it through Dark Bramble. But no, it's just cheering you on. Goodbye, flat orbital plane. So we'll go through the entire process now. You know, normally we could just go straight to the red seed and pop into the nest. But now we'll want to stop first at the escape pod pocket dimension. Also, I could be totally off on this, but in past videos, I've gotten stuck in space at times. Like, I can't move forward when I'm trying to get to maybe Giants Deep or somewhere else. I think it's been Giants Deep and the Twins. Those are the 2 times it's happened. Giants Deep was really bad. It took forever. I could be wrong about this, but I think that might be Dark Bramble's pocket dimensions. I know they're stored directly under the entire orbital plane there, kind of like the Stranger is above and it's kind of hanging out there. But if I'm not mistaken, the Dark Bramble pocket dimensions are all in this black sphere directly under the sun, a little ways. And I remember watching an interview, I think it was with Alex Beecham, and he was talking about the reason for that being when the supernova hits, they wanted to get to Dark Bramble at the time it naturally would. And so that's how they can do that. I've launched a probe in here and checked outside to see if space suddenly had a black sphere in it, and it does. It's wild. And I've gone up to it and tried to see if I could go inside, and you just kind of get pushed back. It's just like a magnet, like repelling you, like a reverse magnet. And I remember that how that felt with me flying the ship. That was very similar to what I felt with the whole Giants Deep getting stuck in space fiasco. Though, trying to remember, I think with the Giants Deep one, I did look at my map and I was right around that spot. I'm wondering if the collision on that pocket dimension just didn't get deactivated somehow? I don't know. And then I was just trying to slowly move my ship around it. I can't say for sure, but that's my best guess. That's Jake's leading theory. We've got our last 2 checks. Let's avoid these 2 angry anglers and head straight on in. I'm afraid that patch of ice is gonna hit me, so I just book it in there, and I'm almost a little too late. I almost let off the thrusters just too late. Thankfully, I was a little lucky this time. So yeah, those seeds at the very top left, I think I point them out here. The very top left, top right, and then bottom right are all the recursive pocket dimension, where it's just the 2 lights and one of them is an anglerfish, and you just keep going back into it over again. The red light is obviously the seeds, or the eggs, sorry. And then the light directly above it, and then the one down to the left below it are both anglerfish. And I guess you could look at it as them guarding what's directly in the middle of them, which is right here, the vessel. Another leading theory of mine. I think I just say screw it at this point. I'm ready to... And I think I hear an anglerfish when I do that. But who cares? We're in. Let's go landing cam. All right, we're at the vessel. We did it. Let's try not to hit any bodies. There we go. So as per usual, we'll take this guy's spot, pop in our warp core, and then enter in some coordinates. It was really weird doing this in the last playthrough because Dark Bramble was actually dark, so when you're doing this, behind it's just all dark branches and everything. It's kind of strange. Got our L, which is an actual L this time and not a J. And then this one's crazy. I'm looking at it like, what am I doing? And that's it. That one used all of them. Well, here goes nothing. It was a little dramatic. We did it. We're at the eye of the universe. There's our quite orange solar system. Look how beautiful and crisp it is. And then we've got our Echoes bad guy. Our Echoes villain, I might call it. And the eye of the universe itself. So we'll pause it. Look down at the very bottom. We got 87 out of 87. All of our checks are good, and then goal completed. So we did it. Very proud of us. I'm really happy with... This was just a really great playthrough. So this was a lot of fun. I hope this post-gameplay commentary was okay. I'm going to put it in there anyway. But I hope it wasn't too annoying to listen to. And like I said, I'll also have a version of this without the commentary and go from there. And in the future, I should be good to go with my microphone setup. So... with that, thanks so much for joining. And the next one I'll see, I might be doing another random spawn. We'll see. But until then, I appreciate it, and see ya.